Hearing loss can feel isolating, like doors to opportunities in life are closing. But there is a place where doors open to endless possibilities. At Presbyterian Ear Institute, we turn tough situations like the diagnosis of hearing loss into the opportunity to hear and speak.
Stephen is my firstborn son. He was beautiful. He was amazing when he was born. And we were in the hospital. The newborn hearing screenings were just instituted in New Mexico. He failed. They said, your son has a hearing issue and he might be deaf.
I was extremely saddened by the news of Kendall's hearing loss. It emotionally took a huge toll on me.
My son Jace was diagnosed with his hearing loss when he was about 2 years old.
The thing that hurt me the most, every Sunday everyone met. My children came to the house every Sunday for Sunday dinner. They were all happy and they're laughing, and I wished so much I knew what they were laughing at.
There's this sort of inhibition to get over associated with the hearing loss. And what you lose in life, in your ability to hear and communicate, it isn't worth trying to wait.
My family was really struggling to learn sign language. There were so many moments I thought, what a hard place to be in, to be isolated from your own family and to feel so different and, to be honest, so left out in social situations and having only a select group of friends or opportunities in life.
Deafness doesn't run in my family at all, and so it's not like there's any history or kind of sense of culture almost around deafness for my family, so it would have completely isolated me from my entire family.
I started to do some research. I started to look into things, and what does that mean? I'm not deaf, I'm hearing. How do we raise a child that is deaf? What does life look like?
It's important, I think, for parents to understand that spoken speech is intimately involved with a child's ability to read. You speak and you read in English in most situations in our country. Using sign language and another language to read is difficult.
90% of kids who are born with a significant hearing loss are born of parents that are hearing. And so it's very difficult for a family to try to learn a whole new language, meaning ASL. And the vast majority of the parents and patients that I see, they want their child to learn spoken language, and they want them to be able to have a conversation with their family. And offering a cochlear implant with the appropriate habilitation is really the best way to achieve that.
The technology of cochlear implantation is amazing. It's the most advanced medical device that there is. If a child is identified at birth and intervention is started at birth and they undergo an implant within that first 2 years, I expect that most children should do perfectly well.
A cochlear implant is a device for people with a moderate to profound hearing loss.
As more and more research comes available, we now know that the younger a child is implanted, the better they will do with their cochlear implant.
It's easy to take a child that has learned to speak and if they want, learn sign language and become part of the deaf community, which I think is wonderful. But it's impossible. You cannot take a child that's 6 years old and put in a cochlear implant and expect that they will ever acquire any significant spoken language. It's just not going to happen.
Early intervention is really where the work begins for that child. They have access to sound, but the ears are really only the doorway to the brain, and the brain is where all of the processing happens and all of the work for communication to begin. So if we get them enrolled in early intervention, then they can learn to use that sound to be able to speak.
¿Quieres empezar con inglés o el español? Con inglés. Okay.
From our audiologists who help patients hear for the first time or hear again, to our speech-language pathologists who help students and clients better communicate, to our teachers and educational assistants who are working daily to teach our students how to listen and talk, PEI gives the gift of hearing and speaking to individuals of all ages who are deaf and hard of hearing.
Kendall was the first deaf person that I had ever met, so I really had no idea as to where to go, what resources to use.
I find a family that has a baby with a hearing loss. The first thing that's going on in their mind is grief. They're upset. They don't know what this means. Will their child be able to play sports? Will their child hear them say, "I love you"? Will their child be able to communicate with them? And the first thing I always say is, don't worry, we're here for you, we can help, and we'll be with you along the entire journey.
In my house, Trinity is the youngest of 6, but none of them have hearing loss. So for her to be able to come here and see other kids with their devices, it's great for her.
After the implant, he started laughing, and it was the first time we had heard him laugh in years. I mean, 30 plus years.
We have everything here. Speech pathology, her teacher, audiologist, and you just had like ENT, so we have everything here.
We were originally told, by our doctor that, Derek would not be able to speak. He would be more into sign language. But finding PEI, we found out that, it's possible for him to have spoken language.
With the success rate of cochlear implants, and how safe and predictable the surgeries are, it was a no-brainer that this is what I wanted for my daughter. I wanted her to have every opportunity to be able to go to any college that she chooses, to make friends wherever she goes.
Dr. Horn was one of the leading pioneers in pediatric cochlear implant surgery. He started the Ear Institute long before others were even thinking about cochlear implants.
Our mission of the Ear Institute is to help individuals with hearing loss be able to hear and speak and be able to integrate into mainstream society and be able to live life doing whatever it is they want to do and be engaged with their families, engaged with members of the community, engaged at work.
We see babies up to adults. So we fit babies that are newly diagnosed with hearing loss with their hearing aids, and if they have a significant hearing loss, we may move them into a cochlear implant.
We're able to, again, see that child on a daily basis and be able to address any issues that might be affecting that child. So if the hearing changes over time, which can happen, we're able to catch that and be able to adjust hearing aids or adjust the cochlear implant as needed.
PEI made it seem like we're not alone. They made it feel like there's all kind of possibility for him, and we shouldn't be afraid to kind of fight for him and kind of help him go through the journey and get him to where he is now, where he's just nonstop talking. It's one of those moments you wish, when he was first born, but now it's here.
They know the child that they're working with, and they all collaborate to make sure that child gets the best care, the best education, all the things that he or she needs. They taught him how to advocate for himself, to be able to tell your teacher, look, something's not quite right, and I need it to be right so that I can learn the best way possible.
The experts here at PEI worked directly with Stephen, but they also worked with me, and they educated me as a parent. How can I adjust what I need to do as a parent to help my son thrive?
We also see adults, both for hearing aids and for cochlear implants.
All my cochlear interactions have been with Chris here and with PEI. And so she was so good, and she did things that I hadn't gone through out at Stanford. And that's what brought me here in the first place.
My hearing aids are programmed to be used with my phone, and I'm not very savvy with any electronics, but it's wonderful because I can it's like having earbuds in your phone, and I can hear very well, much better than with a speaker or just talking across.
14. How many more days until Cassandra's birthday?
Literacy is going to be the key, the code that unlocks everything else for their future. It's often said in education that children from kindergarten to 3rd grade are learning how to read. But starting in 3rd grade, they're reading to learn, and everything else they learn in the world is through reading, if not through personal experience.
June was taught to read and could read by the time she was 4 years old because of Presbyterian Institute. It would take me all day to say the because of. She can do this because of Presbyterian Institute. But there's a list that we can't even articulate.
After 12 years in the field, I had never heard a profoundly deaf child speak with such fluency until I came to PEI.
I don't think every state can say they have a place like this.
Bow and curtsy.
I love PEI because they taught me how to read and they helped me get braver and braver and braver in gymnastics.
He thrived. He thrived in kindergarten. He thrived in 1st grade. At the end of this school year, he was chosen to read a paragraph in their end of the year performance. And out of all of the 1st graders, they chose this child with a hearing loss. He stood up there and he was confident and he read smoothly and consistently, and I couldn't help but cry.
So much fun during the springtime.
Right away, after the first few weeks of her being in school, we saw progress in her everyday life.
In the winter, I like to ski at Wolf Creek and Pagosa Springs, and the co-killers help me hear better too while I'm skiing.
She is going into middle school. She tests at 99 percentile on literature, literacy, every subject. And all of that is because of the foundation she got at Presbyterian Institute.
I've been doing gymnastics since 1st grade. I just moved up to level 7 a week ago, and it's been going really good. My cochlear implants help me a lot because I can hear what they're saying, and the music helps me stay on beat, and I can hear what my teacher is saying.
My cochlear implant has obviously helped me a lot, but it's pretty much all I've ever known. I definitely can't remember a time when I haven't had it. So I'm not sure what life would be like without one. Thank God for that.
After my high school graduation, the night after my graduation, we had driven down to Roswell for a speech competition. And I had won that competition, and I also credit those speech and language skills to what I learned here at the Presbyterian Ear Institute. Alongside that, even when I was in elementary school, when I had first started my first year after graduating from the PEI, I actually skipped 1st grade. My teachers felt that I was ahead of my peers because of what I had learned here at PEI.
I'm going to be going to college this fall and run for cross country and track at Oxnard College in LA.
I wouldn't be where I'm at academically, socially, or anything like that if I didn't have early intervention with PEI.
It was a fight, it was a battle, and we absolutely won because he did it. He totally nailed everything. And all you want as a parent is you want your child to succeed. You want your child to have unlimited potential. And that's exactly what he has.
Over time, I watched him just really come out of his shell and start to see this confidence that matched his character and matched his personality. And that was just so awesome to see.
She's gone above my expectations.
Get a close-up look at the biggest and fastest stripes.
And for me, PEI was a hug from a mom that said, don't worry, we're gonna stay here and we're gonna help you. One of my first talk with Miss Susan was, I wonder, Brisa can tell me about her day. How was your day? And she can say, I have fun, I learn. That is one of my dreams, Miss Susan. And she said, we're gonna make it. We need to work hard and we're gonna make it. 8 months later, Brisa, in the back of the car, in her car seat, told me, Mom, how was your day? And it's when I said, PEI, it's always gonna be in my heart. And thank you so much, guys. Thank you. because this is a change that Breeze is gonna have for all her life.
She had a singing role and a speaking role in the musical Annie, and it was incredible for us to hear her singing in front of this huge auditorium of people with so much confidence.
When he was first born and came home after cochlear implant surgery, I remember crying in my mom's arms, going, oh my God, he'll be able to hear me say, I love you.
We're talking to you right now, like you're listening to us. You know, it's not like there's someone in between us.
I couldn't picture Kendall any other way. So much of her personality comes out verbally. She's just articulate in her speech, and she has this creative imagination, and her reading is just amazing that every single day I look at her and I think, I made the right decision. I made the right decision.
There's something on the other end of this education that they receive at PEI that's better than you ever imagined. And the things that Jace can do now and the things that he's going to do, he's not going to be stopped by language, by speech, by his hearing even. He wants to be the first astronaut, the first deaf astronaut, and just things like that. It seems like it's slow, it seems like it's hopeless, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, and PEI is amazing at coming together with you and getting there with you and with your child.
When we asked June, what do you see for your future? She says, I don't know. I might want to be a lawyer. I might want to be an artist. But there is no hesitation, and she knows that she has no boundaries, that she can do anything.
There's really nothing that makes you any different than anybody else. You can do anything that you want to do. It's never stopped me. It's not going to stop you.